All right, let's settle in for a great story today. This one is called The Big Scary Cave, and it's all about a sweet little rabbit, her perfect home, and a very, very loud new neighbor. So, picture this. It's a beautiful, sunny day. And in this cozy little home, tucked under a hill, lived a friendly rabbit. And you know what? For her, life was pretty much perfect. I mean, this morning, everything was just right. The sun felt warm on her whiskers, the grass was so soft on her paws, and the wind, oh, it smelled just like fresh carrots and basil. Her nose twitched, and she just knew, this is a perfect day. I think I'll go find some goodies for dinner tonight. And just like that, off she went, scampering right into the woods. You could see her little fluffy tail just bobbing along as she bounced, so excited about what she might find for her feast. So she has a wonderful day, gathering all sorts of delicious berries and things. But when she got back late that afternoon, as she got closer to home, she just froze. Right there in the dirt were these tiny little tracks she'd never seen before, and they led straight to her front door. They definitely weren't hers. She crept up to the entrance and called out, a little nervously, "Hello? It's the rabbit who lives here? Is anybody in my house?" She took one little step forward, but was blasted back by this incredible voice that just boomed from the darkness. The voice just roared, "It is I, the many-legged ledge in the jungle, the biggest and the meanest foe you ever fought. I can rip a rhino. Elephants I eat." Well, what would you do? The little rabbit let out a tiny yelp, and she was gone. She just bolted, running as fast as her little legs could possibly carry her, zipping through the forest until she couldn't run another step. But she couldn't just leave her home behind, so she decided to get some help. She found her friend the hyena and cried, "Hyena, there's a huge, mighty beast in my cave." The hyena just kind of laughed and said, "A mighty beast to you is just a little snack for me. Come on, let's go get your house back." So the two of them marched right back to the cave. The hyena, just full of swagger, puts his paws on his hips and yells into the darkness, "Hey, you in there? It's the hyena. You better get out of my friend's house. Who do you think you are anyway?" They waited for a second, and then the great voice boomed back, maybe even louder this time. "It is I, the six-eyed hazard, the terror of the turf, the biggest and the meanest who ever walked the earth. I'll unzip a zebra, antelopes I eat." And just like that, all that confidence from the hyena, gone. He just stammered, you know what, maybe we need someone a little tougher for this. I gotta go." And with that, he spun around and ran off whimpering into the woods. The rabbit took off running too. Now she was really starting to get desperate. She thought, okay, I need someone even tougher, someone nobody messes with. And then she had an idea. The leopard. Sleek, strong, with those big, gleaming fangs. The leopard listened to the story and agreed to help. They walked back, and the leopard, without any hesitation at all, called out, "Hello in there. The leopard has come, and it's time to end these games. Now, who are you?" And again, the voice answered, and this time it sounded more horrifying than ever. "It is I, the hairy-headed horror, a gooey, gruesome green, the biggest and the meanest that you've ever seen. I'll inhale a hippo." The leopard didn't even stick around for another word. He just turned and sprinted faster than he'd ever run, right back into the forest. And the poor little rabbit was right behind him, trying her best to keep up. So that night, the little rabbit had to sleep out in the cold under a dirty old branch. She was shivering, she was hungry, all her food was still back by her cave, and her fur was all sticky and matted. It was, without a doubt, the worst night of her entire life. The next morning, she was sitting by a pond, just feeling miserable, when a quiet little voice said, "My friend, you look like you've had a really bad night." She looked up, and there was her friend, the frog, sitting on a lily pad. Well, the rabbit told him the whole story about the rhino-eating monster in her cave, and the frog just said, "Maybe I can help." The rabbit couldn't believe it. "You?" she asked. "I'm sorry, but the hyena ran away, the leopard ran away. You're not even as big as me." But the frog just said, "Well, let's go have a look." He hopped off toward the cave with the rabbit trailing behind him. And when they got there, The frog hopped right up to the dark entrance and called out, ever so politely, "Hello in there, do you mind telling me who you are?" And for one last time, that huge, fearsome voice came booming out of the darkness. "It is I, the wonder of the wild, the growler of the night, the biggest and the meanest who ever won a fight." But the frog didn't run. He didn't even flinch. He just smiled. And then he said, "Well, now, those are some very big words. I think I'll have to come in and see you for myself. And I should probably warn you, I'm even hungrier." The rabbit just stared. She thought her friend had gone completely mad. But then, a moment later, a totally different voice came from the cave. It was tiny and shaky, and it sounded terrified. "Okay, I'm sorry. It just seemed like a really nice place to live." And the rabbit watched, her eyes wide with amazement, as a tiny, colorful caterpillar inched its way right out of the cave and hurried off into the grass. That was it. The source of that terrifying voice was one of the smallest creatures she had ever seen. The rabbit was finally back home, and that night, she, the frog, the hyena, and yes, even the leopard, all came over and shared that grand feast she'd been planning. And you can bet they all had a very, very good laugh about how a tiny little caterpillar with a great big voice had scared some of the toughest animals in the entire forest.